Hi everyone, I'm going to be talking about what I'm going to be doing for my informative and persuasive speech for Comms 101 coming up. So for my informative speech, I chose to talk about having a job with the federal government. The main reason that I wanted to talk about this topic is to inform my audience about the vocation of public service that you can do working for the federal government. My specific purpose is I wish to inform my audience about the federal government job field, its work, pay scale, and its outlook, and to explain how the federal government really works and how you are able to honor God and promote trustworthy and honesty without your government when you are working in this job. So my thesis is that if you have an interest in public service and you want to positively influence those, you can do that both in not only your community but also throughout your country. And if you want to honor God through your career, government, specifically federal government work, might be the career that you would want to choose. I chose to talk about this field because it is the field that I'm working in now. I also will never forget when I was talking to a good friend who also works for the federal government. He told me that he always wanted to serve his country through the military, and when he wasn't able to do that due to some medical issues, he found that his way to serve his fellow Americans and God was actually working through the federal government, and that's just something that always stuck with me. Public service is a great way to promote your God-given values and rights in your country as well, and so in this field you are also able to promote those biblical principles in your government, especially with the laws and the implementation of those laws. So that's something that I think is pretty unique when it comes to this field. This speech will benefit you, my classmates, because even as someone who knew a lot about government, I didn't know exactly what you did when you were working for the federal government. So I think that that is something that everyone can gain from this. I didn't know what I was doing exactly right until I started working for the federal government. And then for my persuasive speech, I'm going to be talking about abortion. The reason I wanted to talk about abortion is so that I can persuade my audience that it's not only a major problem, but it's something that can be ramified in our country through a God-given way. And by showing people the actual horrors that are associated with it. My thesis is that abortion is a social problem that can be ramified partially with honoring God, and by teaching people about the abortion process and the actual effect it has not only on the child but also the mother when they do go through and have an abortion. I chose to do this social problem because it is something that is so relevant right now in our country with all of the influxes of progressive values that have come through our country. It's something that people really use as a bargaining tool, and I think that the best way to combat that is to have knowledge when you go to try and change someone's mind. And so that kind of goes into why I wanted to do this speech, because as Christians and conservatives, I think that the best way to combat this issue is to fight their ideas with knowledge and facts. And for my visual aid, I wasn't able to print it out, but my visual aid is a timeline of the fetal development that talks about the heartbeat, the eyes, the total development of a baby, so that you know at any point in the pregnancy what the baby's actually going through, which can really help change someone's mind.